The U.S. Supreme Court has taken up the issue of herring. And it wasn't even because they found out that it is not enough onion put in it. According to the law, each fishing vessel must have an inspector, and they have to pay for this inspector's work. The fishermen went to court because this law is made by the National Marine Fisheries Services, an agency of the federal government. But according to the Constitution, only Congress can issue laws. As it happens often, this is a very narrow precedent, but it is used to address a fundamental question. It seems that in a democracy, only elected officials should have the right to create laws. But congressmen are not able to cover all areas of our country's life. Therefore, federal agencies are created, and as a result of them, a huge bureaucracy which is de facto running the country. The fishermen raised a question. Who is in charge? Unelected officials or elected representatives? And of course, this applies not only to herring. Bureaucrats create countless regulations that ordinary people can't even follow. Do you have a mailbox? Did you know that the USPS has a ton of laws it must comply with? How high it has to be hanging, its size, and even which letters and numbers you can use to write your name on it. The head Chabad Shliach of Maryland, Rabbi Shmuel Kaplan, brought the piece of news about fishermen to my attention, and it wasn't because he was very concerned about herring, even though it is a big part of his synagogue's kiddush. He wasn't even that worried about mailboxes. He was pointing out the difference between the Torah laws and the laws of secular structures. Ask any rabbi, I want to be a good Jew, please show me a complete list of Jewish laws. He will point to Shulchan Aruch, a multi-volume work containing every Jewish law. Then ask a government official, I want to be a good citizen, please show me a complete list of government laws. None of them can even tell you where to find such a list. Hundreds of departments create thousands of agencies. Each one of them makes millions of laws. Can anyone say how many laws do we have in this country? In addition, the most important thing, when laws are made, what document are they based on? In Judaism, a rabbi can issue rulings based only on the same Shulchan Aruch. Each ruling has to be accompanied by a Mihechan Dantuni, a detailed explanation of how exactly it was arrived at. And when bureaucrats and government make their laws, is there one document on which they have to base themselves? Each agency writes laws they think are good. People often think that rabbis make up laws they want, but in the secular world, it is not like that. It turns out that the opposite is true. In the secular world, laws are issued ad hoc without one singularly set of guidelines they have to obey when they produce these laws. And in Judaism, they must be written according to strict rules of Shulchan Aruch, each and every single law. People often think that there are millions of laws in Judaism, and it is impossible to keep track of them. They are so vague. But in the secular world, people think everything is clear. It turns out that the opposite is true. Judaism is based on a specific set of clearly stated laws. But in the secular world, no one even knows how many laws there are. In 2017, the Forbes magazine decided to investigate how many government agencies there are in the US. They answered the answer that they received from the government, such a list does not exist, and it is unknown how would one be able to create it. So, study and follow the laws of the Torah. They are much clearer and more consistent than the laws that are pertaining to herring or mailboxes.